Hi, this is
This is the
Boulevard
story of a
Broken,
man
and
named
this is
Stanley.
going to be a snack attack tutorial. I'm going to teach you how to do snack attack, the module. It's pretty obvious when you see a snack attack on a bomb. It's going to be in big white letter saying snack attack. If you don't see that, you're probably looking at a different module. But if it doesn't just say that, it might have been touched before. We'll cross that road when we get there. Anyways, you're presented with just a black module that says snack attack when you first see it, and when you click it, it'll start blaring you with noise, like so. Now, when this goes off normally, I'm not going to try to talk over it, partially because I'm focusing usually, but also just because it's annoying to hear me over this. Anyways, so I'm going to try to explain as much as possible while it's not going on, even though as much as I would love to, just so that you can get it. Right, so when I click that, you're going to notice a lot of things were there. The main things you're looking for is in the middle, it's going to show a type of snack, and at the top, it's going to show a yellow triangle, like a caution triangle. And you're going to want to note down for your notes, because this requires quite a bit of notes. You're going to want to note down the position of that yellow triangle, and you're going to want to note down what snack it was. Um, and I'm going to try to do that now. Normally you won't get it in one try. If you do, good on you. But especially for kind of looking at it and taking notes, I'm not that fast of a typist, so it might take 2 or 3 tries. So first, I'm going to try to write down the position that the yellow arrow's in at, uh, and then I'll try to write down what kind of snack it is. So, uh, see you in a minute. Oh, and I should probably explain what I'm doing with the numbers. You can note down position however you want. I like to do it using the 4, 5, and 6 keys, just because for me that's like left, middle, and right. Of course, you can always use L, M, and R, or whatever you would like to, but here 6 is on the right, 4 is on the left, and 5 is in the middle. Now I'm going to try to write down some food. And excuse any horrible misspellings. Also, that was not a salmon, that was a tuna. But yeah, I'm going to make a lot of misspellings in this. It's the only way I can type fast enough. Okay, so now that we have everything written down, now I guess it's time for me to explain to you what the heck we're doing with all of this stuff. So right now we have a bunch of names of snacks and positions, and oops. The end goal of this is at the end of, well, when I press this next button on this module, it's going to bring me to an input. And this input is going to have us input either directions or a color. And at the end, the snacks that were shown there are going to be sent to us based on what category they're in and what position the yellow arrow was in. So knowing what foods it was and where the yellow arrows were will help us guide us to eat all the correct colored fruit. Um, now, you can notice I have maybe some weird names for things, and actually, let me just bring up the chart right here. So, if you notice, I have stuff like dragon, that would be the dragon fruit, that's over somewhere in blue, in the middle of blue, and I have rack. It's kind of like a rack of ribs. And yeah, it's however best is to describe it. Some things you might want to clear up with a diffuser if you're an expert, or vice versa, before you start. For example, the difference between the bottle in the middle of red and the bottle in the top left of green. I like to call the middle of red uh, like a lamp, and I like to call the top left of green honey. But again, that's up to your discretion. But yeah, now that I have all of these written down, now I want to get the colors of each. And once I get the colors of each, I can then form a string of inputs to put at the end. So let's get to it. So our first one, right, an important thing to note is in this string of inputs, in fact, let me press the next button to show you what it looks like in this, well, let me get rid of that, to show you what it looks like. And in this string of inputs, you can either put left, up, or nothing, right, and a color. And you're going to have, since you have 15 snacks here, you're going to have 45 inputs, because you have 3 inputs to get to the correct position and color for each stage. And that is guaranteed enough. Right, thing I wanted to note is that your position, if you imagine it like this, you have dot, 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 and then you at the bottom here. You start right here, put Y for you, and you start in the middle as red. And if I were to put in, let's just say, a left and move, and let's just put it as R's to show that I'm red, it would move me over here. And hopefully, you know, my first food is a red food over here, and it would come down, 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 and by the third move, it would reach me as red, and I would eat it without striking. It's kind of abstract until you see the solve animation, then you can kind of understand it more. But if you don't like to think about it as a minigame, you can literally just think about it as get to the right position as the melon color within 3 moves. So let's get started on that. So first one I want to do, I have 6, which is right. And since I'm moving from the middle, my first move is going to be a right. So let's actually go do that. Right. And something I want to do, especially if it's given as a read from a diffuser to an expert, is have it all written down here. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then I'm going to transfer it to the module. So let's see where we are. We start in the middle. We want to get to 6, which is right. So we're going to make our first move right. And then we're already at the right. We don't have to do anything. So our second move is going to be nothing, or N. And then third, if we go back to our chart, so our first snack was a melon. That's in the red category. We start as red, so we don't actually have to change. So I'm going to change that to an N. We have our first 3 moves down, and now I rinse and repeat. So our second move, it's on the left. So to get from the right to the left, we're going to have to move 2 left, if that makes sense, because we're in a 3x3 grid. So our first 2 moves are done moving left. And then lastly, we have an olive. And an olive, according to our funny chart, is also red. Since we're already red, we don't have to change. We can list that as an N. Now, we're already on the left. N. Well, not N. So, since we're already on left, and then we have dragon fruit. Dragon fruit is in the blue category, so we're going to want to change to the blue color. I'll show you how to input all of these later. Right now, I'll go through them a little more quickly because I've been over-explaining them. So we're going to want to move, we're at left, we're going to want to move right, and we're on key. Key for me is this thing at the bottom left of green. Again, you might want to clear it up what you're calling it with your diffuser. You could take it maybe as like a waffle or a honeycomb. Key is easier to type. So we're on right. Key, tuna, blue. Now we're on the left again. Olive, according to me, red. We're on the left still, and we're on olive again still, so staying red, don't need to change. Go back to the right. Cherry. Where's cherry? Cherry's in blue. I should have prepared this beforehand, but, you know, oh well. You can skip ahead in this if you really dislike it. I wish I could skip ahead of this, but unfortunately I can't. Okay, last thing we did was cherry, so now we're in pepper. Pepper is blue. Now, you notice there's two different peppers, a green pepper and a red pepper, but similar with sushis. They're the same. They're in the same category, so you can just say pepper or just say sushi, and it won't matter. So I just did my pepper. I was already in blue, in fact, so I can keep it as nothing. Um, Staying in left, I'm right here. And that's back to olive, so that's a red. And I'm moving right. I have my rack of ribs, that's green. Staying on the right, I have my bacon, that's also green. Then I'm moving back to the left. This is a very interesting snack attack, I have to say, in terms of where everything is. And the amount of olives I got, kind of silly. Okay, I'm on dragon fruit. Dragon fruit is blue. And then, still on left, I have my leg of turkey or something like that, and that's in red. And finally, I'm in the middle. So finally I get to show this off, though I guess it also appeared in the first one. But we're on the left, and we want to move to the middle. We move one right in our 3x3 grid, and then we're in the middle. So we don't need to touch anything. We do nothing, and then we go. Where's our tea kettle? I'm assuming that's a tea kettle. That's in red, so we don't have to touch it. So now that we have our secrets out, this is what you might be doing as an expert if it is given to you as a read. If you're EFMing or just learning this on your own, you might just put it right into the module, but it's nice to show my note-taking process. Anyways, now that we have the colors and positions down, let's get this out of the way, and let's start inputting it. Now, I will make a note. It was personal preference to move before changing the color. Something like this one can easily be green, right. It doesn't matter. Again, just personal preference. And the ends aren't even necessary. I do them to keep track of what move I'm on. So anyways, let's get to inputting. So the way you input is, it's like so. So the way you move through moves is with these two black arrows on the left and right. And you can see I'm on move 1 right now. I'm eventually going to get to move 45. Yes, because I have 15 and 3 moves each. So I see right here my first move is, let's not mess it up. My first move is R right there. So I'm going to press this right button. This is going to make my first move right. Next move is nothing. I can press this middle button. And this third move is also nothing. I'm going to press this middle button. Now, this screen up here is how you submit. I don't suggest pressing it unless you like striking until you're actually done putting everything in. So my second moves, now I'm on the second set of moves because I'm at 4. It's going to be left, nothing. And then it's going to be nothing, and then blue. So the way you set a color is by clicking here. Now that would set it to red, and we want to set it to blue. So if you click again, it actually cycles through the colors red, green, and blue. So if I wanted to set it to blue, I'd click it until it says blue and move on. So I'm going to kind of speed through this. Hopefully you understand how to input them in. Maybe I'll go over it one more. Next one's going to be right, and then green. I'm going to click it twice, get to green, and that submits move 12. And I know I'm on the right move because that was the 4th set of 3. Anyways, I'm just going to speed through the rest of these so I don't waste your time. And then, yeah, you can just submit red by clicking it once. And then when you get to the last move, you can press whatever the last one is. In my case, it's nothing, and you won't be able to move past it, and that's how you know it's the last move. I can, however, let's just say I messed up the last one. I meant to put a left. You can always go back and change things. Let's just change that before I forget. But yeah, now that I've put everything from my notes over here, based on these notes and these notes, let's see if I did it right. Oh, and this will show, you'll have to click it twice to submit. And now I hope it's a little more obvious what we were doing earlier, where we're moving through this 3x3 grid with snacks coming down, and we're changing colors for the snacks. And it plays a cute little noise. Cool minigame. And it says you win. That's my favorite part. It makes me feel good inside. Anyways, thank you, alarm clock. Perfect timing. Anyways, I hope that was enough to kind of explain how to go through this mod. Yeah, hopefully that was good enough for you. It is actually quite a fun mod. It looks a little daunting when you first see it, but once you actually learn how to do it, it's a pretty fun mod. Hopefully it gets put on more bombs. Anyways, thanks for that, and I'll see you. Thanks.